Hello, hello, hello. It is Charlotte.
And Daryl.
And we are the Bakers here for another podcast, Truth for Daily Living.
Yes.
And we have someone, oh my goodness, I've known this young lady quite a while, but she is truly like blowing my mind with all the work she's doing. So as soon as we come back from this commercial, her and her husband, as soon as we come back from this commercial, we're going to get it going. All right. It's the Bakers. All right, we're bringing our guest to the stage now. There she is. How are you?
Wonderful. How are you?
Mr. and Mrs. Crenshaw.
Yes.
We are so glad to have you on our podcast, Truth for Daily Living, and we welcome everyone else that will see this, whether it's in the morning, the evening, the nighttime, around the world. We welcome you to our podcast, and we say thank you, Crenshaws, for joining us. Real quick, we wanted to say, make sure to our audience, you check out our previous show. We've been recording, oh my goodness, some great guests from
Yes, we have.
Things you can name, from postpartum depression to business to art. Understand your purpose. Just check us out. We're not going to tell you anymore. You just go right to our YouTube channel, Marriage and Rich with the Bakers, and you can check out. So our last one that's going to be loading tomorrow, if you're in October, it's going to be loading. It's called It Is Time to Reset Your Rhythm. That's going to be happening soon. And also what's going to be loading is about the two populations that are in need of assistance. So just check that out, okay? So with that being said, we're going to jump right into the show again with the Crenshaws. Woohoo! So this topic, this is what we came up with. We thought this was appropriate. The importance of health, wellness, and saving or serving the community.
That's it.
I think that kind of sums it up, right?
Yeah.
That sums it up. So without any further ado, let's go to our first question. And we want you guys to introduce yourselves. Tell us who you are.
So I'll start. So my name is Suzette Crenshaw, also known as Suzette Ross Taylor. I am a transformational coach and the president of Creative Minds Academy and Musical Arts Center. I'm also the director of community builders at ABC of Illinois, and I'm married to this amazing guy, Byron Crenshaw.
Cool. All right, Mr. Byron, what you want to say to us? What you want to say, sir?
It'll be my turn. I'm Byron Crenshaw. What I do some of everything here. I work Chicago Public Schools in safety and security, but most of our time that me and my wife do is Creative Minds Academy and Musical Arts Center. And it has taken off in various different directions with our workforce development program that my wife spearheads so wonderfully. I'm learning so much from her in this particular field. And as a man, I'm not really ashamed to say so. She's a very brilliant woman, and that's for real. So I'm learning so many different things from there. But I'm also a musician. I play guitar professionally. God has blessed me where I've got my music is in 60 other countries, actually.
Wow. That is beautiful.
You look up my name, Byron Crenshaw, on any of your digital platforms, from Apple Music to Spotify, and just put in Byron Crenshaw. And I'm so elated to say it comes up artists. Yeah. And I'm elated. I mean, I told my wife, I tell my business partner, listen, I will never, ever stop acting like a kid in a candy store with my name coming up as artist. Can you believe? I mean, artist. And I'm just amazed with that. So I was blessing there. He's blessing as well with Lord Jesus, Creative Minds Academy and Music Arts Center, and the variations that is going in terms of workforce development. I'm getting a joy out of it. Really, you talk about serving the community. I'm getting a joy because we're able to actually hands-on help people for real, not for play, but for real. You know.
So since you went there, we're going to flip it a little bit. We're going to put Herbalife at the bottom since we have the founder here. Okay. So let's jump right into that. Tell us about the nonprofit organization and its mission.
Well, go ahead.
Well, Creative Minds was established to commit its resources to activities which are intended to improve the quality of lives, economics, safety, and educational enhancements of youth and their families. Our mission is to impact the lives and the standards of living through a holistic approach which addresses such needs as education, counseling, employment, and building the total family unit when applicable.
Wow, that's a mouthful right there.
Yeah, that is.
That is a hefty job. When you say, honey?
No doubt, no doubt. So, what drew you to this community, and also wanting to, build families, communities? And when you talk about education, you're talking about health, you're talking about awareness. What drew you to wanting to really to pour your heart into that area? Because I know that you have to have a passion, to really to pour yourself into our community, because the fact that community have issues and problems that needs resolution, right? So,
exactly.
So what drew you to the community like that?
Well, over the past 30 years, I've worked in services. I worked as a program manager, a program director with the oversight for workforce development programs in Chicagoland area. I also worked with individuals that were incarcerated. So my goal was to help people help themselves. How do we transition a person that's been incarcerated, that has no skills, abilities, the value, the worthiness of what they will have when they leave the penal system is zero. How do we build that structure? How do we show those individuals that, yes, you made a mistake, but now I'm going to give you the tools necessary to be a productive citizen, to now have an income. We also provided family unification, having events where the families could actually come to the facilities to have engagement. So now once they go home, they're not strangers. They're understanding, that they're transitioning, that they're not coming straight from the penal system, but now they're coming with a paycheck. They're coming with the industry recognized credential where they can make a difference not only in their families, but in their communities, because now they're tax paying citizens with the background. And after a couple of years, we're working on getting those backgrounds expunged or having a sealing done where we can really make a difference in their lives and now build our communities.
That's great. Now, as the founder, Byron, why did you decide to even start it? Because, starting a nonprofit, we know, because we have a nonprofit as well, is not easy work. So what inspired you to do that?
Well, a few things. As my wife was talking, it's just amazing. I kid you not, this is a brilliant woman, and I thank God for her. And I say it all the time, and I just say it publicly all the time because I want her to really know. And I'm looking at her time that she spent in reference in DOC, 18 years dealing with individuals that were incarcerated. Well, on the flip side of that, I'm a former police officer. So with that being said, I and then I work in Chicago Public Schools as well. So I see it from a different spectrum. And I think, and this is my saying, if people had opportunity, if they knew better, they would do better. And I'm just a proponent of that. I believe that. No, you're not going to save all, but you can save some. And so when we see that, when I've seen that, and you talk to individuals, and I keep it, as the young people say, I keep it 100 with them, and they appreciate it so much because in the days and times that we live in, there's so much rhetoric that is being thrown their way, and they don't believe it. So you've got to be upfront, honest, and tell it to them sometime in a row. My wife looks at me and she cringes sometimes when I'm talking, because I'm talking to them in the raw. But she see the result from it, they'll come up to me and say, Mr. Crenshaw, I appreciate it. I appreciate you telling us just like it is. Why? Because you can sugarcoat it all you want to. These young people, as well as old people, they want a way out. Creative Minds has been a blessing in that it's providing a way out for them if you take it. And that's on the individual. But I'm just excited. I'm excited. I mean, just so many great things. We couldn't even tell you all the great things that have been happening. Seriously, honestly, my wife, she works for a company where she has so much. And I told her the other day, and this is no lie. I told her yesterday, we were praying. I said, God has given her favor. She has favor beyond measure. I mean, people that are in higher places are coming to her saying, we want you to do this. We want you. We want Creative Minds. We want, and I'm like, in my wildest dreams, like I said, as I started this some 12 years ago, being a musician, I wanted an outlet for individuals. So the slickness of what I did was this, is that music was the hook.
Yes.
Ultimately, education was the get you. And so the hook, everybody wanted to be the next Jay-Z and the next this, that, and the other. But we know that everybody doesn't make it in the music field. But if you have education, then you can prepare yourself forward. And so that was
wow.
That's great. Wow. That's great.
So did the name go ahead, babe.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, did the name come out of, when you say Creative Minds, because you are a musician, you think you kind of drew from that? Because music is really a creative art to me.
Sure.
So how did you come up with the name? I mean, is it from the music?
Like I said, we were originally, when I was coming up with this, we were just brainstorming, me and one of my associates, and that's creative minds, and it just stuck. And so had to add on the other piece, Creative Minds Academy, and then Musical Arts Center, because what we wanted to do is bring young people in, have a full-blown studio, where they could come in. Because let me tell you something, to be quite honest with you, our young people are very, very talented. They just don't have the resources or the opportunities as some.
I agree.
So we've got to give them the opportunity, because they can act, they can sing. I mean, it's just amazing, but they don't have the resources to how can I say, to have those things cultivated and brought out of them.
Wow. What were you going to ask him?
No, what I was going to state is this. I think you guys have a marriage in your type of experience that you have, basically, and as you continue to collaborate, because you say you're a former police officer, so you understand the mindset of the street, the thugs, that mentality.
Absolutely.
Right?
You're absolutely right. Absolutely.
And then Suzette, she have the ability to understand how to bring the service.
Now,
how to service the people. Absolutely. And how to give and how to reach them at a right where they are. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So as you guys continue to collaborate even deeper, I mean, this thing is going to get wider. It's going to get explosive, okay? Yes. Because of the fact that now you're putting those experiences together, the street mentality and the education, basically, man, that is so unique and so powerful. Wow. Okay, so do not take that for granted. Yes. and give it some more thought as to how can you go deeper as well, because of the fact that you already have an audience, okay? You understand what their needs are, okay? And then when you demonstrate to them that you care, then of course, then that's when they're going to open up the most.
Can I say this, Brother Baker? Sure. Can I say this?
Hey, this is your show, man.
When I tell you that is honest to God, the truth in reference to feeling and caring about people. Someone said that what's from the heart reaches the heart. And so folk can tell when you putting them on or you shucking and jiving. Folk really love when you coming straight from the heart, because let's face it, out here in these streets, nobody's for real. I mean, they don't have a real face. They don't have a real face on. They have a fake face on. So when you get somebody and they see that you're for real, you really care. I tell these young people in class, and I'm talking about a young man that, in particular, I'm thinking about him. This young man was incarcerated 9 years. He just got out 4 months ago. And I'm just God is blessing this young man's soul. When he first came in, I was telling my wife, he would kind of like, they got that hard mentality. But see, let me tell you something. You can see all through that, And so now he makes his way. He communicates with me all the time. He makes his way to me to shake my hand, and we're looking at each other, and it's a blessing because there's a mentality that you have to maintain in the penal institution. Everybody knows that. You can't come in and smiling. You come in and smiling, you got a problem. So you got to come in with your mean face on, Brother Baker, and you've got to, adapt to what the situation has presented itself. No, should you be in that situation? No, but of course, all of us have made bad decisions, and so that's the thing that me personally, as well as my wife. Listen, we've all made decisions. I tell people all the time, look, it's only we're doing the same things, but we just didn't get caught.
That's it.
You can wear a shirt and towel all you want to, okay? You just didn't get caught.
Yes. So, and what I want to say, I'm sorry, before I ask this other question, I want to really if you didn't know, my husband likes to affirm. So that was an affirming moment for you both. I hope you got that. And I'm going to continue with the affirmation, saying that you guys are a model as a couple, because we also have that same heart that we want to make it in business, but also provide, serve the community. Sure. And so I commend you for, it's a sacrifice, because when you show me your schedule, I don't even know your husband's schedule. But when you show me your schedule, I'm like, my Lord, when do these people sleep? Especially with the Chicago traffic around there trying to get around. But I commend you. We commend you for what you're doing. Yes. And so I want to get as much as I can before your husband has to leave. Tell us a little bit about the training programs, the core. You had core, introduction to basic construction. So this is the part I want you to tell us about. Now, this is deep to me. I've known you a long time, Ms. Suzette. I never knew you had a heart for construction. That just blew me away.
Yes.
I mean, if we just look at you, that we don't see that. So tell us about what you're doing. Is it theory? What are you doing?
So it's theory, it's hands-on. Core is the basic of any training program. So if you want to be a carpenter, a laborer, a plumber, everyone needs to have core because it's the basic. It gives you the safety, the understanding, how to deal and manage with the day-to-day operations on being in the construction industry or in that field. So we teach the theory. But in order to be successful with theory, you have to have some hands-on experience. So we actually have performance profiles. So if we have safety is our first module, well, we're also doing safety performance profiles where they're standing on the ladder. They're doing their PPE, which is the hard hats, the safety glasses, the gloves. So they're learning the fundamentals. How do I stay safe? As I teach this class, I'm always telling them, you want to go home every day. What do I need to make sure that I'm safe and the people that are around me are safe? So core gives you the fundamentals of it. And then you get creative with it. My grandfather was a carpenter. Really? And I don't know if you remember, but my grandfather was blind.
Yes, I do remember. Yes.
But let me tell you, we had a house on the west side that was a HUD house, and he remodeled that house. And I was only 7 years old, but I remember the smell of wood and wanted to be out there with him. And he would take an extended wood ruler and hit the end of it, whatever he needed to mark, and fill that spot. And he could cut with the saw better than you or I could. And he couldn't see. So that desire has always been, a part of my DNA because I was out there in the mud with him at 7, 8, 9 years old, building. And, a lot of people have these houses where you close the bathroom door and the lights come on. We grew up with that stuff. So he was definitely, a man before his time. most would call it motherwit. So because I saw those things in the house and, the building and the love for, the construction industry, I had an opportunity to take this class working with the residents at one of the ATC centers where I actually took them to training. And I said, hey, I've always wanted to be a carpenter. My mom said, go to college, get an education. People in construction don't make money. How wrong was Sister Girl Mama?
Okay.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And full circle, not only am I back here, but I have the opportunity to train some people, to give them the fundamentals, to get them to understand theory and hands-on of hand tools and power tools. Also construction drawings. If you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know what you're reading, if there's no plan, you can't build. So we're teaching them those skills, up front in that core where they're really making a difference for, again, themselves and their families. So I am loving it.
I can tell.
But you wonder how I keep going and how I keep moving because, it comes from the heart. There's joy behind this.
Is that the track that you actually lead most of your individuals that's coming from the penal system and giving them the skill sets that's available to make them profitable and
Exactly.
that they're earning a living for themselves and becoming productive and also being able to be reconnected with their families as well, right? So you're giving them practical knowledge, you're giving them tools that they can rebuild themselves from the inside out as well. So that's part of what you're doing then, correct?
Definitely.
Absolutely. That's beautiful.
Mr. Byron, you had something to say?
The other thing is that it's not every child. We want them to go to high school, graduate, go to college. Let's face it, every child is not going to go to college. They're not.
Right.
And it's wrong of us.
Every child don't need to go to college if they have a passion for a different career set, right?
Exactly.
Listen,
right. As long as they getting educated and becoming viable citizens and increasing in that skill set that they have desire to pursue.
Yeah. Like I said, in the Chicago Public Schools, as I work in safety and security, I see, I was over high schools and this, that, and now grammar schools. And once again, there are children that don't have a desire to go to college, but they desire it. So how will they provide for themselves? Well, a viable trade is definitely more profitable. And I'm not going to say I went to college. I played sports in high school. And in college. College, I would never refrain from it. But I'm telling you, there are some people that are in construction that are making some pretty hefty salaries. No
doubt. No doubt.
They didn't have a college degree. They began to get credentials as they began to climb the ladder.
So what's a project that you both are currently working on, like actual hands-on? Are you building anything with the students at this point?
You know what is happening with us? We got so many, we get so miscombobulated sometimes because I kid you not, we're getting so many what is called cohorts. Cohorts are programs. And so we've got them from all stretch of the spectrum in terms of ethnicity and stuff like that. So we've got one that just ended. They were Spanish community, and they were building a gazebo and they were building a shed. And I tell you, these young people and old people, I keep saying young people, maybe old, but I don't know. January 23rd, if the Lord said the same, I'll be 60.
Amen.
It's a blessing. Praise the Lord.
Awesome.
So we're getting so many different cohorts that you want them to definitely. So I say that they were building a gazebo, they were building a shed. We're going to have this class build a barn door. So we just get and once again, none of these people have ever put their hand on a saw. They don't know what a saw is, a sawzall or a circular saw or table saw, and they don't know this. But the young man told you about earlier, so he's working for a guy that hired him on, okay, and he's doing pretty well, coming straight out of the penal institution. He told me the other night, he said, that he knows more than his boss knows because of this class.
Wow. That is powerful.
I was like, whoa. And I had him speak to the class, and I didn't know, and honestly, I didn't know he was going to say that he was incarcerated 9 years and he just came home 4 months ago. I didn't know he was going to say it, but it was great that he did, because there are other young people that are there that have 1 foot in the street and another foot in this program. And so we're hoping that they'll put both feet in the program as opposed to both feet back in those streets. So.
May I dare say, you guys are parents.
Oh boy, yes.
You are parents
of multiple generations.
Yeah, because it sounds like it's predominantly young men. I don't know if you have any young ladies in the program.
We've got young ladies there as well, but they're just.
But it sounds like it's predominantly young men, though, probably,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
But you guys are parents, because you are saying, this is my interpretation of what everything you've been saying, is that I see you, you made a mistake. We're moving beyond that mistake. Now let us teach you, let us train you, so now you can go out and become a productive young adult and make us proud parents. That's what I hear.
That's it. And she's the mother. She's the mother. She mothers them to death. But I'm the father. And then
to life.
Yeah, to life. I got you.
Yeah.
And she gets on me because she said, just too hard. Just he'll do this. And because but they appreciate that. See?
Yeah.
No. Suzette, listen to me. Okay?
One man to talking to agree with another man.
Men need real men to tell them how to get on the right track.
That's it.
You understand? Because the fact that real men and young men will respect men that would tell them the truth. Because a lot of times when they was growing up, they didn't have someone to discipline them and to correct them when they're wrong. Right. And so that right there says to another man that he cares, he loves me. That's a love language for men. Okay,
that's good.
All right. So now, and don't misunderstand the communication, how we receive information from a strong man.
That's it.
Yes,
okay,
that's great.
I mean, that's a balance right there. So you do your thing, let him do his thing. Okay.
I appreciate you. I appreciate
he's that guy. He would do exactly what you're doing, Byron. He doesn't sugarcoat it. And sometimes I would be in the side Suzette saying, like, wait a minute, baby, just a little bit. He said, no. They need it just like I said it. And I say, okay, I got you.
Yes.
Now, the other part of the core, you said aviation. Now, what I want to bring out is you have 2 sons, Suzette, and one is you got 3 sons. Okay, let me back up because you didn't tell me. But one of them is a pilot.
Captain Daniel Taylor, yes.
So does he help with the aviation part?
So that's going to be our second part.
Wow.
That is amazing.
Yes.
Because I know he loves what he does.
I get a chance to speak to pilots quite often on my job, right? Awesome. What I do. And every pilot that I've spoken to, they say they love it. I had the opportunity to speak with my first female pilot, maybe about 3 weeks ago. And I'm like, I'm glad you're on the line with me because I want to know, how did you get involved in becoming a pilot? She was never in service. She was influenced by someone, and she taken a class. And these are young people. They like 20s and early 30s. You follow? And they love it. And so pilot, basically, that can be a industry that young people should really take interest in.
Yes. So your son loves it?
He loves it. We cultivated him as a young man. I worked for the airline. My ex-husband worked for the airline. So he understood the airline industry. But, we would purchase simulator games. He never went to the military, went straight to college. And his situation is unique because we ran out of money. Gas was $6 a gallon back then, and we were in a recession. And I said, come home, finish your education home. And he actually went through a program where he was a student. And all he wanted was his hours. just so that he could have his private license. And not only did he receive those licensing, but he also became a flight instructor. And then he worked for a courier service where he was over in the Virgin Islands for 3 years.
Well, I'm sure that had to be rough. Huh?
Yeah, that was rough.
Hey, I hope you are enjoying this podcast episode. We just want to share a few things that's coming up. What are some things that you would like to share that's coming up?
So one of the things that's coming up, because we like practicality, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we think it's important to teach couples, if we can, because that's our mandate, to teach couples about practical ways you can enrich your marriage. So one of the things that's coming up is our cohort, okay? It's a 6-week cohort for couples. We only do this a couple times a year. So basically it'll be 6 weeks of teaching. We'll talk about hot topics, and then you'll have times where we're on a Zoom call, one-on-one, or basically with a group together to talk about different things. So make sure you go to marriagecourserecipe4success.com to find out about the next date for this 6-week cohort. And we're going to see you there, right? Yes. Right. We want to see you there. Another thing that we talk about related to practicality is tablescape rendezvous for two. So this is an idea that I think works well with building relationships, because you're going to be out there, whether you're on the back deck, your back lawn, a park, enjoying time together, uninterrupted time for 2 hours with prepackaged food, right? Mm-hmm. And you've experienced that. Really tell them quickly, how was that for you?
Oh yeah, it was absolutely great. And because of the fact that we had the opportunity just to share time, quality time with each other. And the sun was shining. It was a bright day. And we sat in the park. We had food. We had snacks. And then we had cool drinks as well. And it was set up beautifully just for the two of us. And so it was a great opportunity for us to kind of reconnect and then share that quiet moment together.
Yeah.
And kind of break them in, the day-to-day process and implement something new. So it was good.
Yeah, so make sure you go to Tablescape Rendezvous for Two to look at the schedule to see when you can book your 2-hour escapade. I hope you're enjoying it. And so we're going to be seeing you around. So make sure you stay connected with us in any way possible by subscribing to our channels, okay? Talk to you. It is the Bakers. Peace.
And that big break came where he had an opportunity to work for Mainline. And working for Mainline, the sky's the limit. So he's actually in training now. He's changed airlines, so he's with a different airline in training now. But he is Captain Daniel, and he's only 33 years old.
Wow, that's beautiful.
That is amazing. Tell him we say kudos.
I salute Captain.
Thank you.
Yeah, tell them we say kudos. That's going to be great once you get that part of that program up for them to see someone that looks like them. Because I'm assuming most of your population is minority students. Definitely. So to see another minority in a position of authority like that, man, that can just take it. I can't even imagine. It just takes it so far because, typically, as we know, a lot of our minority children, they focus on, well, I want to be a ball player. I want to be they think that's the only place money is. And you're talking about being a businessman. Then you're thinking about the dark side of business when people they selling, street pharmaceuticals, if you will. But there are more ways to make money besides being a ball player or the other stuff that they focus on because they have no examples.
Right.
None at all.
Right.
None at all.
Okay, few examples. Let me clean it up. Few examples.
You're right. And me, myself, I talk about him often. I'm so proud of him. I don't know what to do because here it is. You have a young man. Daniel is what, 33 years old. Makes 6 figures. Plus, I meant to say, my wife said, plus, 6 figures plus. This young man can go and buy anything that he wants.
That is amazing.
It's amazing because what you just said, when you show someone a model of something, they now start to believe that maybe I can do the same thing. And so that's the reason why our young children, they really we're not privy to going to flight school or going to school to be a pilot. Daniel amazes me on this level, and I'll leave it alone. Most African men in the being a pilot, there's not many. You can count them on your hand how many that are captains of those planes that you get on frequently. I'm honest with you. So this young man at 33 years old is a captain. Captains are 50 and 40 and 50, 60 years old. You know, this young man is 33 years old and he runs the show.
That's awesome.
So that's just amazing to me. Not so much because he doesn't have a character like that, but it's just amazing for him to be in that position. And that's why I'm so proud of him, because everybody is not out here, as you said, selling pharmaceutical drugs.
Right. Street pharmaceuticals. Yeah. And that's a great thing.
Not doing that. And so it's not enough good stories told like that. I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's okay.
Yeah, you said one great thing about a model. He's a model. So if you have a model, then you can create a pattern. You follow what I'm saying?
That's good.
So now you guys can create a pattern. He can create a pattern, and the pattern can be duplicated. Right? That's going to be part of the training process.
Wow.
Basically.
Wow. Now, another key question before we move to Herbalife. Have you thought about like doing this model outside of Illinois?
I knew you was going to ask that. Yes, yes. And I was waiting on you to say it. Yes, yes, yes.
You know, we already have a partner in Alabama.
Right.
Okay.
So we have provided services in Birmingham, Alabama, in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I was somewhere else. I did a training. Oh, I did 2 in Charlotte. That's what it was. I did 2 trainings in Charlotte, and I had one in Birmingham, Alabama. And let me tell you, they're just as hungry there for service as they are right here in Illinois. You know, just wanted to make change. And you have just as many women that are interested in the industry as you do men.
That is amazing.
That's amazing.
Yes,
and, you know, when I come in, you know, they were Zoom classes. So when I come in on Zoom, first of all, with the name Suzette, they thought that I was a white girl.
Right.
And then the second thing is when I actually went to the location to do the performance profiles, you know, they said, you really know what you're doing. Absolutely. Put your boots on. Let's make this happen. You know, so getting creative, getting them to understand that they can do anything that they put their minds to, you know.
And I dare say, I'm going to put this out here. I'm holding my husband's hand. You never know. You might need to come to Georgia. Because as I told you, we also have a nonprofit. It's called Bridging the Gap. And our goal is to help those who have aged out of foster care. And we constantly get calls. And I mean, every week is something. Yeah. But I think the key word you said and some of the things you sent me is about partnership. So I know that's something we'll have to talk about offline to see if it's even a good fit. But I mean, part of what we wanted to do was provide training to those that are in need so they can be self-sustaining.
Right.
Because, I can give you somewhere to stay if we had the housing now, but then what? Because typically it's like 6 months if they're in different places. Then what? But what you're doing in the meantime? Because we even had someone that we were assisting that was literally picked them up off the curb. And we were trying, housing him for a bit. And then he ended up in a different program. And he was basically not happy with it because in the program, they weren't focused on his aftercare.
No.
Because he's like, what am I going to do when I get out of here? And I'm like, that's a good question. I said, you're trying to tell me you're going to be there 6 months and they're not telling you, he wanted to go in the barbering, wanted to go, be a barber. Amazing. They weren't encouraging him to be a barber, to go to barber school. They weren't even focused on the aftercare. And I'm like, well, that's the most important part, man.
That's it. Training is just the foundation. It's just the foundation. What about the longevity? What about the long term? What about transitioning? What about the change?
Yes. Yeah, well, we definitely gonna have to talk on the back end because about that piece, because I think partnership is definitely something is needed for us, and I know the value of it, and so we'll definitely have to do a different call, wife to wife, husband to husband to see, because we're 501c3 as well, so we're in the same boat, so But I'm just like, I'm so excited about this creative mind. I know your husband said he had to go, but I know we pulling him in to sit here.
Right. Listen, so you guys are from Georgia, right? Okay.
We're originally from Chicago.
Okay, I know, but I'm saying you're in Georgia.
Yes.
to college in Georgia.
Did you?
Yeah, in Augusta.
Augusta.
I played baseball at Payne College in Augusta, Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah. This is way back in '81.
Okay.
Yeah. So Georgia, I mean, it wouldn't be far-fetched to partner with or come to or whatever. It would be amazing to do so, just to expand, because as my wife said, there are people all over the country that really want to hear this message, and I believe that we can take it to them. I mean, you guys affirmed it. You said that we are a great fit, a great match, so I'm just hoping something like that.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah, that's great. I would definitely like to talk to you, Byron, offline as well, and just kind of see, see what you're doing with the men, so to speak, as well.
Yeah, that's one of his things. He really has a heart to want to help men, whether they're young, middle-aged, whatever, that maybe have been broken, don't have guidance, need assistance. He's a very handy guy himself. I mean, this guy is really, let me give my husband kudos.
All right, come on now.
That's right.
Come on now.
23 years and counting. I am 23 years and counting. I am so grateful for this guy because, as you mentioned earlier, Suzette, and some of the topics we like to talk about on Truth for Daily Living is the truth. So you were married before, and so were both of us. But this time around, my God, I don't even know. Listen, we'll be on here forever. He's just a great man, a great guy, a great dad. We have a daughter together. He has a son. I mean, it's just, oh my. So I commend you for that. And I commend you because I think, like I said, you guys have similarities in that the building, the construction, not just natural, but even in the spiritual sense, you like to build people up. And when you give people a sense of pride in a good way, a sense of pride because they know how to do something, it gives them a sense of worth. So yeah, you guys definitely need to chat offline and let's see what we can collab on with these nonprofits. We don't want to just be sitting up with these nonprofits. And you guys aren't. We're the ones that got to catch up a little bit.
Come on.
Yeah. We just need the manpower.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. So I don't even know where to begin and say thank you, but I want to, before we, start wrapping it up, I want you to jump into, just tell us a little bit about your Herbalife journey, because I know that helps to give you the flexibility with the nonprofit. So let me say again, the things we like to focus on Truth for Daily Living is truth. So truthfully, couples, it is a great thing to be in business together. Can y'all say yes?
Yes.
It is a good thing to be in business and it's producing, even if it's not for profit. We talked about this in another episode. People don't know for-profit organizations is just like it sounds. It's established for profit. Not for profit is established for a certain community. Thank you, Byron, for coming. I know you got to go. Not for profit is established because you want to serve a certain group of people like you are serving and like we desire to serve. So yes, we want you to tell us a little bit about how Herbalife helps you, gives you that flexibility to help with your community that you are interested in.
I'm just trying to think about where I can start. First of all, I love it. I went from a size 0 to 280 pounds in 6-month period of time. I had some health issues. I had a thyroid disorder. And every now and then when I get hot, I'll feel that choking sensation. So that hasn't gone anywhere. I apologize for coughing. But my journey has been health. What can I do to make myself healthier? And in making myself healthier, I had an opportunity to share that with other people. So when they saw the weight loss, when they saw the energy, and I already have this magical energy on the inside.
Yes.
The energy level went to a different level because I felt better about myself. I felt different about myself. So the flexibility of, being able to work in this industry on a part-time basis where I could help people live healthier lives.
Great. So this is not like a franchise for you. You work at corporate, or how are you weaved into that whole thing?
No, it's Herbalife is not a franchise, it's a membership. It's direct selling, is that business model to avoid the intermediaries in the supply chain and simply sell products directly to the consumer. It's that person to person sale.
Gotcha. Okay. So you do training within that model too, correct?
I provide training within that model. I provide training on products, training on a healthier way of living, and training on how to be financially secure or independent of an employment opportunity, which is a job.
Good. Great. So in your opinion, how does physical illness affect someone mentally or emotionally? So I know you could tell it from your own experience. So share with our audience what that kind of looks like.
Let me tell you, first of all, I want to put a disclaimer out. I'm not a doctor.
Yes.
I'm not a professional, but from my experience, is physical illness can impact mental wellness in many ways. If we're in pain, injured, diagnosed with any illness, or experiencing negative responses to aging, we become depressed and anxious due to the perceived or real limitations that's placing on our lives, either short or long term. Then we have the mental disorders like depression and anxiety can affect people's ability to take part in their health promoting behavior. Something as simple as physical activity. You have a person that is in a mental state, now they don't want to go anywhere. They don't want to do anything. But one thing about it is for me, mental health is no longer something we encourage to keep quiet about. I'm talking about it. After COVID-19, after that pandemic hit, it taught me that I had to get outdoors, that I had to tell people about a better way of living. The implications of mental health is isolation. How do we move them beyond the scope of, I don't want to tell anybody, I don't want anybody to know, it's the family secret? No, I need some help. And once we discover that we need help, then we have to go to the next level and get help if that's what's necessary.
That's right.
How long have you been with Herbalife?
I've been with Herbalife since 2012. I actually was laid off from my job. Like I said, I was overweight and I needed something to do. And the thing that got me was the energy. Just the energy alone. I would come home, I would have to take a nap, and then I would get up and do whatever needed to be done. Remember, I'm 208 pounds. So I've gone from 105 to 208 pounds in a very short period of time. So now I have energy. Now I'm ready to move. Now I want to talk to people about, it's like when you get saved. I want to tell about the goodness. I want to let everybody know that there is something different that has transpired in my life, and you just can't keep it to yourself.
That's good. Right. That's a good example. Oh wow. So, would you say, in your opinion, based on what you've seen so far as you travel and you teach and train, that a lot of times people don't put their health first? Would you agree with that statement?
Not only do they not put their health first, but they trust doctors. I have a thyroid disorder. I have an overactive thyroid, and my doctor told me 20 years ago that, oh, you're just gaining weight. You're at that age. And I believed him until I start falling out. We have to take control of our health. We have to ask questions. We have to ask, why am I getting this medication? What's the length of time that I need to be on it? How will it affect me in the long run? What are the side effects? If you look at a medication bottle, it's going to kill you. And you still consume it because the doctor said it. Well, I don't do that anymore. So my thing is, how do we let the public know that you have a right?
That's
Doctors
good.
simply practice medicine.
Yeah, that's what they do. That's what they were trained to do. And we're not putting down doctors, so nobody needs to give me a comment about that. Again, as we said, this is the disclaimer. We're not doctors. No. She's basing this on her own experience, and then we could add, if we had the time, to tell about our own experience, that we've been, doing things a lot differently this year and ingesting the right things as far as supplements and things that we've been recommended by certain non-traditional professionals. I'll put it like that. Okay. And so I think that's great that you found a way to share your story about your health journey, because part of the topic today was health and wellness and then serving the community. That's even something that merges together, because even with the young people, you could tell them, hey, you young, but you need to get this in check now.
That's it.
So you don't have to deal with this down the road, right? I'm sure you do that, right?
Exactly.
Yes. Did you have something you wanted to ask her? Yeah. So wow, you listen, Miss Suzette. I thank you, Mr. Byron. I know you had to go, but wow, I am just amazed, and it's refreshing to hear that other people, like-minded people, do really exist.
Exactly.
That want to not only provide for themselves, but want to help and reach out to help others and spread the message, whether it is serving a certain community, whether it is getting your health in check, because our minority communities, that's a big thing. And I know you've seen that probably over your tenure, but it's good to know that people are spreading the message. Now, one of the things before we really wrap this up, we like to ask our guests one of 3 questions, and I'm going to stick with the one we've been doing so far, because I know you're going to be able to answer. And so the question is, do you believe everybody has a purpose?
Yes.
Just expound a little on that.
Not only do I believe that everyone has a purpose, but I also believe that everyone has a responsibility to live their best life. To follow your dreams and to stand on what you believe. We know that God would never leave us or forsake us. So if we just hold on to the promises, we can do anything. So everyone has a purpose. Everyone has a place. Everyone has an opportunity. Everyone has a choice. And when you put all of those things in perspective, you'll always come out on top.
Amen. That's good. And may we encourage those that are listening, if you stop dreaming, because she said, pursue your dream. But what if they stop dreaming? If you stop dreaming, start dreaming again.
That's it.
Start doodling. I'm a writer. I'm a creative myself. So I like to doodle in my little book. I like to write notes. I like to write down my thoughts. I like to draw pictures of what I envision. So if you have stopped doing that, or you've never done that, we encourage you today. Make sure you do that. You only get one life, guys.
That's it.
One. And what are we going to do with it? It's not just about us. It's about what we were brought into this earth for a reason. Everybody has a reason. Now, a lot of people get off. We know that. But if you get into that point where you realize, yes, you have a purpose, you have a reason for being on this earth, get about doing what you're supposed to be doing, which will not just be for you. It should impact, that's the goal, other people. Like what Suzette and her husband are doing. They're impacting the community of people that made mistakes, but they're getting on the right track. They're impacting people talking about the health journey. You got to figure out where you fit, right? So you have anything else you want to say before we release this wonderful lady who has such a great message, and she's going to be leaving a legacy for her family? I know.
Before you do the final word, I want to talk to you guys a little bit. This is my drink. It was filled. It's called Obama, and it's my #1 seller.
Okay.
The base of everything that I make, and that's why I have Wild Roots outside of Herbalife, because I wanted to do something creative. The base of everything that I make is ginger. And after the COVID, everyone kept saying ginger, ginger, ginger. So I got creative in putting amazing drinks together. They give you energy, boost your metabolism, but the base is ginger. And
we love ginger, yeah.
What does ginger do?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's that base that gives you everything, you know. So, you know, again, I talk about my grandparents that were the healthiest people in the world. We started juicing in the 70s. And my grandparents died very young. But they were very health conscious. There were just some things that, you know, were in their DNA that they could not, you know, overcome. My grandfather had a heart attack and died at 59. My grandmother had melanoma squamous cell cancer. So things that they just could not predict or take medication or things at that time. They just didn't know. But now I know that it starts here. You know, everything starts with the root. So
that's good. That's good. We're gonna have to talk offline and get some of those recipes because we're on the same kick. Okay, we're on the same kick. Now, one of the ways they can reach you, I know for your nonprofit, is that correct on the screen? We have Creative Academy. I found your website.
Yes.
So they can go there if they want to talk to you about, I don't know if you're doing volunteers or whatever, but if you need information, want to talk to them, there's the website, right? Did you happen to have a website for your Herbalife at all?
So my website is Suzy Q, SUZYQ, Fit for Life.
Let me get that. Do that slow. I'm going to lose
SUZYQ, Fit for Life.
The number 4 or the word?
4.
For life.
Go Herbalife.
Go Herbalife.com.
Yes, it is.
That's it. Where? Herbal. Let me put that there. I want to make sure I have that. There we go. I'm going to add that because I want them to take a look at that.
That's it. They can simply call me at 773-732-9110.
Great. Well, we want to thank you. Make sure you tell your husband thank you. Give him a big hug for us for joining us on our episode. It was so much, but we're going to end it now because we don't want to keep you all day because we know this is one of your rest days, I think. I'm not sure.
Rest day. The only rest day.
Only rest day. Oh, man. So we're going to let you get to your resting. But thank you so much for joining us on our podcast, Truth for Daily Living. We will definitely be in contact with you, right? And we for sure. We're going to be in contact with you. And we wish you a great one rest day. And we'll be talking soon, okay?
Awesome. Bye now.
All right, take care, honey.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Wow, that was great. That was so much informative information. I am encouraged. I am stirred even more. And so as we begin to end this podcast, we just want to again say thank you for joining us as we talk about subjects that we hope are helpful for you, because again, it's truth for daily living. So daily living is about health. It's about service. It's about many different things. So we hope you are gaining knowledge and information that you can use. Now, one of the things that we do, we are counselors. We have counsel engaged and married couples. So if you're in need of that service, you can always go to our website. It's right there, okay, enrichmymarriage.com. We also believe in putting together several things, such as practicality, things that you need to do hands-on. So one of those things is our Tablescape Rendezvous for Two. And so with Tablescape Rendezvous for Two, it is an opportunity for, we say, a 2-hour escapade if you are in the Atlanta, Georgia area, because that's where we currently provide this service. So if you want us to pop this up, it's for 2 hours on your back deck, on your back lawn, in a park. We are well able to do it. We have a variety of themes. And my husband has enjoyed that.
I have.
Yeah, I have served him one of the things, I think one time it was for Father's Day, and then just because. And so he's experienced it. It was a good experience.
It was a great experience.
Yes. So we popped that up, like I said, for 2 hours. And then we have prepackaged food. So that's one of the practical things. If you are a couple, engaged or married, a way for you to build intimacy and communication, a lot of other things. Now, another thing we have coming up is our marriage course recipe cohort. Yes. Now, this is where we get to share with couples. So we only have a certain number of spaces, but it's a cohort because it's a group of couples. This is specifically for married couples where we come together for 6 weeks and we chop it up. We talk about different topics, things you can do, encouragement. You have some homework. We don't want to overpower you with that. But the goal is when you get on the other side, you have a stronger marriage foundation. All right. So make sure you go to Marriage Course Recipe for Success to see when the next cohort starts, because again, it is a 6-week course. And that's inclusive of talking about business.
Yes, it is.
Or even nonprofit. So if those are things you want to, at least get your ear peeked about, make sure you sign up for that. Okay. And I think that's about it. We have books we've written. Make sure you check that out. We wrote our book. You can see it in the back too. Marriage Course, not Marriage Course Recipe. But Marriage Takes Three, trying to get it all in there. Marriage Takes Three is a book which could be for people that are not married, but specifically to those that are married. So make sure you get your copy. You can go to Amazon.com and get your copy, or you can go to our website, enrichyourmarriage.com. And then you can get a specialized copy, which will allow us to give you a message. Okay. So I think that's about it as we end this show. Anything you want to add, honey?
Just go to our website, go to our YouTube.
Yes.
YouTube channel, and hit that like, subscribe button, and also share it as well with other individuals that that may be interested in some of the content that we're bringing you. So therefore, let's stay in tune, stay in contact, and we speak with you soon.
It's the Bakers. I'm Charlotte.
And I'm Daryl.
And we'll see you around town. Make sure you check out the next podcast that's going to be loading real soon. And the only way you're going to know is if you go to Marriage Enrichment, the Bakers, and you subscribe and you hit that notification button. Talk to you later. Peace.
Deuces.